10 Thrilling Facts About Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a man known for many things, including his music, his pelvis-centric dance moves, and the fact he was able to wear a fedora without looking like an idiot. But a man as complex and unique as the king of pop could never be summed up with a list of just 3 things. Here's a list of 10. Number 10. He personally leaked some of the more bizarre stories about himself. He is known to have leaked several stories about himself to the press, to ensure he continued to receive column inches in the world's papers, when he wasn't actively making music. Number 9. He wrote all of his songs with his voice. Michael Jackson rather surprisingly had little affinity for music. By this we mean that although Jackson understood how to compose a song, he could neither play an instrument nor read sheet music. Jackson would instead compose his songs entirely in his head, and then sing them to session musicians while recording his albums. Number 8. He was an actual king. The king of pop. It's kind of weird that few people ever talk about that time in 1992, when Michael Jackson actually became a real king. In an interview with Ebony magazine in 1992, Jackson was humble about his newfound status as a king, telling an interviewer asking how it felt to be a real king. Jackson replied, "I never try to think hard about it." Number 7. He earns more money dead than we will alive. Employers are notoriously picky when it comes to hiring people who aren't alive. Michael Jackson is an apparent exception to this rule, being recognized as the highest-earning dead celebrity, earning close to $1 billion in 2016, more than 7 years after his death. Number 6. His death broke Google. Like the moon landing and losing your virginity, the death of Michael Jackson is an event where you remember exactly where you were when it happened. It was a global event that resulted in an almost immediate outpouring of grief. We say almost, of course, because people had to check Google to make sure the news was accurate. That's not us being facetious, by the way. According to stats released by Google themselves, minutes after news of the singer's death broke, so many millions of people tried to search his name that it brought the monolithic website to its knees. Yes, Michael Jackson's death caused so many people to panic and Google his name that it broke Google. Number 5. People scalped his tickets for hundreds on eBay. News of Michael Jackson's death was partly shocking because it occurred just weeks before he was due to embark on what he insisted was his last ever set of concerts at the London O2 Arena. Demand for tickets was such that Jackson's official website offered fans a chance to enter a pre-sale draw, essentially securing them a chance to purchase a ticket ahead of time so they wouldn't have to sit on the ticket website the day they were announced, and hit refresh over and over. The offer crashed the website, with a reported 16,000 people trying to apply for the draw every second for several hours. Number 4. Danced the moonwalk so hard Fred Astaire called to congratulate him. Though he didn't necessarily invent the moonwalk, he is arguably the person who showed the world just how cool it could look to see a man effortlessly glide backwards like he was just pushed onto a greased air hockey table. Sitting at home, watching the show was an 84-year-old Fred Astaire, who upon seeing Jackson glide across the stage, picked up his phone and called him to gush over how amazing it was. Jackson, a massive fan of Astaire's, fanboyed down the phone for several minutes before quickly rushing to a nearby bathroom and vomiting in excitement. Number 3. The glove was to hide a skin condition. His singular most defining item of clothing though was his single glove. The glove was actually used to hide the early stages of vitiligo. Vitiligo is a disease which causes the skin to change color, and often starts with unsightly blotches on the hands and feet. Number 2. He composed an unknown amount of the soundtrack for Sonic 3. In 1994, many fans of the Blue Hedgehog consider Sonic 3 to be one of the best games in the series, partly because it lets you play as Knuckles and partly because that soundtrack though. Well, for any fans of the game, you may be pleased to know that Michael Jackson had a hand in creating it, though exactly how much is hotly debated. And lastly, He promised to write the #1 single for Bart Simpson. Jackson explained to mate Groening that Bart was his favorite character, and that he wanted to write the troublesome 10-year-old and #1 hit single. Groening laughed, assuming Jackson was joking. But he wasn't joking. Jackson went home and composed the basic idea for the song, and Do the Bartman, a rap single from the point of view of Bart Simpson.